Kia ora. Next up is our Get Talking cards. Now there are 52 cards in this pack and every card has 3 questions, and the idea is to get you talking. It's not rocket science. We know that as we learn to have good conversation and dialogue within our family units or our friendships or with Gran and Nan, whoever it is, that we are developing real key skills in the next generation on how to have good conversation. Now the big concept behind the Get Talking cards is this idea of debriefing the day. And we see that in the Ride the Roller Coaster as well. The concept of debriefing the day is really important and it's very meaty and one that we dive deep into within our Feed Your Mind Parent Night. So I really encourage you, if you want to know more about that, to come along to one of our free events. But it's simply about learning to listen for what's happened in a young person's day. And if you can catch that maybe something negative or not so pleasant has happened, you can have a good conversation about it. It's important for the long haul. But what I love about our Get Talking cards is that they're for any age and stage. They always start with a positive question like, who was nice to you today? What are you most looking forward to tomorrow? What got you excited today? What was the best thing that happened to you? And the idea is that as we start with a light question, a happy question, that it's like the opener to a conversation. And then as the listener, it's your job to ask more questions and to further the conversation. Often, the key part here is that we as Kiwis listen to respond very often. And what happens when we listen to respond is that we might miss a bit of the content or what's really going on in a person. My suggestion is that instead we would be people who listen to understand, listen to get a big and fuller picture of what is going on for that person, which means we have to ask some clarifying questions, some follow-up ones, and we have to be curious. And so I can encourage you that with these Get Talking cards, as you develop the skills to listen to understand, it's powerful for the person who's feeling understood and feeling valued and heard. Those are really important and beautiful gifts that you can give to the people in your world. The next part of the Get Talking cards are really lighthearted. They ask, what do you like best about your brother and sister on one of them? If you could be an animal for a day, what would you be? If you could make something nice for someone, what would it be? If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? And they're on a varied scale of being kind of random and lighthearted to a little bit more serious. And again, these questions are just starting conversations, and it's up to you to what depth they look like and land in your context and in your family or whoever it is that you're playing these cards with. You may think that they're not important, that it's kind of a waste of your time because they're so jovial, some of them. But what's really happening as you play these games is that you're developing new understanding within your family, especially if this is with your young people and your children, that we have conversations, that we connect, that we actually have intentional time to talk about what's going on in our lives, the fun stuff and the hard stuff. And as you use these cards in your life, what's going to happen is your children grow up and they develop into maybe more of the curious years where there's a little bit harder stuff to manage and navigate, is that they've got a framework and an experience of being able to talk with you at the end of the day. This is huge for emotional resilience and healthy communication with young people and their caregivers and parents. I really encourage you, these Get Talking cards are a game changer when it comes to facilitating conversation. So pick them up, use them at any point in time, whenever it feels right. We would love to hear how they work for you in your context, and we are so excited to see you taking the step to developing a little more skill set around emotional and mental well-being.